Hello student, welcome to this next video of Business Studies class 12 and this is lesson staffing going on and we have already discussed about staffing and its importance, and now in this video we are going to discuss about staffing process. So let's see the step which are included in staffing process. So they are estimating manpower requirement, recruitment, selection, placement and orientation or induction, training and development, performance appraisal, promotion and career planning, and compensation. So let's see all these steps one by one. So the very first step says estimating manpower requirement, means finding out number and type of employees needed by the organization in near future. For estimating manpower requirement, company will take following three steps. And what are those steps? They are workload analysis, workforce analysis, and comparing both to find out requirement. Means the very first step the company is going to do that to find out that how many number of employees are required by the organization in near future. And for that, how the company is going to find out the requirement of manpower? This is done by the following three steps, and these steps are workload, workforce analysis, and the comparison being done between the two to find out the requirement. So let's see what is these workload, workforce analysis. So workload analysis enable the enterprise to access the number and type of employees necessary for the completion of work. So student, before going ahead, I want to take one example, and with the help of that example we are going to discuss about the staffing process. So suppose there's a company, and in a company there are three departments: finance department, marketing department, and production department. Okay, just assume. Then suppose in finance department, and suppose in all these three department, company required 10 employees for each. Okay, so the very first step what the organization is going to do in the staffing process, that to finding out that how many people they are required, and this is done by the workload, workforce, and the comparison between the two. So in workload analysis, what the company is going to do, they are going to access the number and type of employees. Like in our example, the company has thought that three departments are there, and for the all the three departments they require 10 employees each. And what should be their means the field in which kind of people or the employee they are required. Like for finance department, the person who is excel in finance field; in marketing, the person who is excel in marketing field; and for the production, the one who is excel in the production field. Okay, so by workload analysis, company came to know that 10 employees for each of the three department they require. After this, the second the second step is workforce analysis. Means it in a workforce analysis enable the enterprise in analyzing existing workforce. Means right now how many employees are there with the company. With the help of workforce analysis, the company will come to know about this. Means suppose right now in finance department, suppose there are 11 employees. Okay, just an example I am taking. In marketing department, suppose there are 8 employees. Then in production department, suppose there are 10 employees. Clear? Means 10 employees are required for each department, and by the help of workforce analysis, the company came to know that right now finance is overstaffed. Means 11 employees are there, though 10 are required. In marketing, 10 are required, but there are 8 employees only. And in production, it is means it's okay. Production department 10 are required and 10 employees are there. So now the company is going to do the comparison between the two. That is, it helps with the help of comparison between workload and workforce analysis. The company, it will help in determining whether an enterprise is overstaffed or understaffed, and also enables an organization to make necessary step to take corrective action. Means with the help of this, now how the company will know that the company is overstaffed or understaffed. Means suppose the workload over the workforce, it will indicate understaffing. Like in our example, there 10 were required. Okay, and in marketing department there are only 8 employees. Means it is understaffed, and the company it needs to appoint more people. Clear? In marketing department they require 2 more employees. And whereas the excess of workforce over workload, it indicate overstaffing, and now you need to remove or transfer some employees elsewhere. Like in our example, in finance department there are employees, 11 employees, though 10 are required, so one employee is extra. So either company will remove the employee or will try to by the help of transfer, the company will try to adjust that one extra employee in another department, because both overstaffing and understaffing both is injurious for any company. Clear? Then the second step says the recruitment. Now after the company found out that in marketing they are lacking with two people, means two employees they are required for marketing field. Clear? By recruitment, now by the help of this recruitment, it is defined as the process of searching for prospective employees and stimulating them to apply for jobs in the organization. And this recruitment, it can be done internal and external sources can be used for searching employees. Student internal recruitment is like by the help of promotion or by the help of transfer. Like in our case, finance department, there are 11 employees, though 10 are required. So maybe company can do transfer of one of the employee to marketing department. It can be done, or it can also be done by the promotion. Okay, these internal external sources we are going to study later on in this lesson only. Now let's focus what is recruitment. So now what the company will do, like marketing department is lacking with two employees, so now the company will ask the people to apply for the job in the organization. There is the requirement of two posts are there, vacant posts are there. So now the manager, they will try it that more and more people should apply for the job, and this is done through recruitment process. And why more and more people, they will induce more and more people to apply for the jobs, so that now the organization can get more choice and they can select better candidates. Means there are two vacant position and suppose 20 people are applying. So now you have choice. You can choose among the out of these 20 you have to choose only, you have to select only two. So better option can be availed. Then the third step is selection. It is the process of choosing and appointing the right candidate for right job in an organization by conducting various exam, test and interview. So now what is selection? That recruitment is you are asking people to apply for the job. Now selection, the means choosing the most suitable candidate to fill the vacant job position, and it is done via test, interview means written test, oral test, interview has been taken, group discussions are done. Okay, and in selection, the selected candidate, they are less than the number of rejected candidate, and that is why selection is called negative process also. Student, please keep this in mind that selection is also said as negative process. 1 marks question again it can be asked. Name the negative process in the staffing process. So selection is said to be the negative process. Clear? And the main objective of selection, you know what is the main objective of selection? It is like to select the best among the available and to make the selected candidate realize that how seriously things are done in the organization. Means you can't any day bring anyone to the organization and ask them to fill the vacant position. A very tedious process, and after lots of hard work one is selected. Then the next step is placement and orientation. Means now you have selected the person, the placement of the person has been done. Now orientation is thus introducing the selected employee to other employees and familiarizing him with the rules, regulation and policies of the organization. And placement refers to the employee occupying the position or post for which the person has been selected. Means I think placement is clear to you all that for whatever vacant position the company has selected the person. Now through placement they are asking the employee to occupy that position, the person who has been selected. And what is orientation? Orientation is making the selected person familiarizing with all the rules, regulation with of the organization, and uh, introducing the new employee to the already existing employee of the organization. Clear? Then training and development. Systematic training helps in increasing the skills and knowledge of employees in doing their jobs through various methods. Development involves growth of an employee in all aspects such as performance, knowledge, etc. So now let's see what is training and what is development. Means by the help of training, the employees the employees, they are motivated, and it is necessary to provide training and development to the employees so that they can reach to the top, because proper training has been in any organization, time to time training has been given, and this training is given to the employees for keep them improving their skill. And in the organization they have in-house training centers which arrange timely training for these employees. Then student, in most of the large scale organization there is separate human resource department, HR department are there, okay, which perform the staffing function. But there are certain small organization also, and which only perform, means the line manager, they only perform the functions, and the small organization in which there is no human resource department, they include the rest of the steps. And what are those rest of the steps? Which are the 6 steps, that is performance appraisal, promotion and career planning, compensation. Okay, so let's see what is performance appraisal. So performance appraisal means evaluating an employee's current and or past performance as against certain predetermined standard. Means after the proper training, development work has been done, now there is the need for the performance to be evaluated. And performance appraisal, it refers to the evaluation of the performance of employees against some set standard, means the standards are already predetermined, they are also known to the employees in advance, and on those basis the superior, they prepare a feedback report on the basis of the performance appraisal. Then comes your promotion and career planning. Promotion means being placed in positions increased responsibility. Means in promotion what happens, the person, they are given some higher job positions with more pay, definitely more job satisfaction will be there, and by more pay and more job satisfaction, responsibilities also comes. So, and this promotion, it is generally on the basis of the feedback report of the employee's performance, and on that basis only they are given the promotions and opportunities for higher job positions. Then comes your compensation. Compensation refers to all forms of payment made by an enterprise to their employees, like salaries, incentives, commission, etc., and it includes direct financial payments, and these direct financial payments, it includes wages, salaries, etc., and direct financial payments, they are of two type, time based plan and performance based plan, and indirect financial payments are also there, like vacation, insurance, etc. So compensation is like price of the job, you can say. It includes pays, reward, other incentives. And what are these direct financial payment? Direct financial payment, like in terms of wages, salaries, which monthly they used to get. And these direct financial payments, they can be of two types, time based and performance based. Time based means like salary and wages, they are paid daily or weekly or monthly basis. And what are these performance based? Like under this method, the payment is made to the employees on the basis of number of pieces or units produced by the employees. On that basis, means on the performance basis, the payment has been done. So these are direct financial payment. And indirect payment, so the indirect payment are your, it includes vacation, insurance, medical facilities, means where you are not paying them direct money, but you are rewarding them by giving such kind of things like vacation and insurance, etc. Clear? So student, these are all the process, the steps of the staffing process. And student, please, in case of any doubt, you can ask through comment box, and do like, share and subscribe the video. Thank you and take care.